everybody, this is Dust for Dust on Gaming and MTG Tavern here on YouTube. So, going to be starting a bit of a probably 13, 14 week project. So, as you all know, well, some of you know, I'm trying for a local IQ, a local shop. Ended up having a few hiccups along the way of Season 1. Work got in the way a few times, so could do it the easy way and, just play Burn and Modern and probably qualify. But what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the challenge decks that Wizards recently released and try to build up the deck to the point where, it's competitive enough that we can try to qualify for this IQ over the course of 12 or 13 weeks. Unfortunately, we're going to be missing a week for GP Columbus, but beyond that, we're probably going to be trying to go every single week, as long as I'm not closing at work or something. So the objective is to take our winnings, or whatever we win, try to build up the deck. I'm going to play a little bit online, a little bit in paper. So this is the card for card 75 out of 75 from the Challenge deck. Trying to win with Approach of the Second Sun, control the game until then. You've got some Ether Meltdowns, a Renewed Faith, some one farm to market, and some sweepers to try to buy you time against creatures, and then Censor and Supreme Will as counterspells / cantrips. Opt to try to find your land drops, find whatever piece you're missing. Kefnet as kind of your not very good, but potentially alternative win con in the main deck, and then Cast Outs to answer whatever you need, and then Glimmer of Genius to find your Approach of the Second Sun. Cast Approach of the Second Sun twice, you win the game, as long as the second copy resolves. So, gets you 7 life, and then goes 6 cards deep into your deck. So we're going to have to be mindful of that. Beyond that, you got your blue and white mana base, 4 irrigated farmland, 2 up near RW Lit, 2 Field of Ruin. This is all standard in the challenge deck. And then the sideboard, got a couple Renewed Face for racing matchups, Regal Caracal for creature-based decks. Yeah, gotta love it when Magic Online updates lists. Alright. It's like I have 4 copies of Renewed Faith running around. No, I really don't. Alright, come on. Come on. Alright, 2 copies of Renewed Faith, 4 Regal Caracals for kind of creature-ish matchups. Spell Pierces and Negates for controlling or matchups where you need counterspell protection for your win con. Kefnet as another alternative win con against control. Glyph Keeper, also kind of a win condition against control. Requires 2 removal spells to kill in a turn cycle, also has Embalm. So, just a fair warning. Control decks are not my speciality, so be warned. Gonna take into a couple of 2-man queues tonight. Gonna be a short stream, obviously with Dominaria coming up. Standard's gonna be kind of at an all-time low. Beyond that, we're trying the challenge deck, see how it does. Once again, I'm not the best control player, so that's part of the reason why I'm forcing myself to play this deck. Figure over the course of 12 or 13 weeks, both building up the deck and learning in the ins and outs, that eventually maybe I'll know what the hell I'm doing. Alright, so definitely keeping this hand. One thing we're really missing is white mana here. You aggressive deck, huh? Yep. Bomat Courier. This is probably the blue, red-white Test of Metal deck. Alright, well, Field of Ruin can eventually get us to white mana if we don't find it off this Opt. Yep, definitely looks like we're gonna get run out of the building by this start for mono red. Need to find one of our copies of Settle the Wreckage pretty quickly and the mana to cast it. It's not going to be the easiest thing to do in the world. this opt here. Review that to the bottom. Doesn't really fix what our problem is. Yep. Some white mana. Play this out. Hold up Censor this turn cycle. We're going to take 5. Trying to think outside of... There's not really any good answers to this stuff in our main deck. So one of the problems with this particular challenge deck is it's just pretty cold to mono red. Let's just be straight up honest here. See if our opponent plays around Censor here or something. Apparently the answer to that is yes. I suppose they could have like a burn spell or something here. Okay. That was going to resolve regardless through the Censor. Alright, so... Alright, if we can somehow live until Fumigate, but I don't think that's probably going to happen, so... We have Supreme Will to somewhat protect us here. But our opponent has got a lot of cards. A lot of cards. Card Reserve. Let's get these triggers through. I think this is one of the issues with the blue-white version of the approach deck. You don't really have any early interaction for Bowmat Courier, especially. So, just gonna pass here. Play this Plains out. Gonna pass a turn. Yep, we're just dead, because this is 3, 4. We'll counter it on the off chance that it matters, but probably doesn't here. Opponent might like have an Uncrop Crasher, or another Shock, or a Hazoret. Yeah, this feels like a Hazoret. So 3, 4, have like 5 cards under here. Go to 1. Like any burn spell here, we're dead. Yep. Alright, pretty aggressive start from our opponent. Turn 5 kill, kind of hard for us to interact with. Alright, so we want the Renewed Face, we want these Regal Caracals. Definitely get this Kefnet out of here, it's kind of garbage. Not sure what the other cuts are. Maybe a couple of cast outs, maybe an Approach of the Second Sun. And beyond that, I'm not really sure. Like one Glimmer, try it like this. Guess I'd love to play first. Wow. Guess we'll keep and hope our cycling lands get us there. Okay, put mulligans to 6. Just gonna cycle a cast that on instead of trying to hit some land drops. Yep. Always be bow matting. Use this to pass. Wow, double bow mat going here. One of these things the version's missing is we're definitely low on Settle the Wreckage, cards like that. So what's... Guess we'll just play this out. Hold up Supreme Will here. Sure. Don't particularly care about this one. Opponent continuing to accumulate cards here. Don't think reveal, that's what we're looking for here. Caracal is not bad. Yep, just need to hit one more land drop here. Alright. Sure. Land here. Any order. Get a 3-for-1-ish. Okay. Sure. Glorybringer is sort of a card here. I think this turn I'm going to cast Ether Meltdown and hold up Supreme Will. Just cast that out there, take care of your Glorybringer. Captain Lannery Storm, eh? Play out the Regal Caracal here. But it only has one card in hand. Okay. Fanatical Firebrand, huh? Cycle a sensor here. Attack with cats. Sure, I'll make that trade. Opponent flooding out kind of hard. Cycle this. Renewed Faith. Do I wish to gain life? Yes. Supreme Will. Guess finds Glimmer. Attack with both here. Feels like we're in pretty good shape now. Actually getting a game off of red-white feels pretty good. Direfleet Daredevil. Think we're kind of priced into Glimmering here. Top that opt. Huh. Awkward. Do you flash back here? Sure. top, bottom. Let's get a land. What you got, opponent? Alright, so Caracal. Please let this cycle resolve already. Another Ether Meltdown. Get some more lifelink, get some more cats. Definitely can use some more hard removal in this deck, whether it be something like Baffling End or something along those lines to answer earlier creatures. Alright, getting one game against them feels pretty good. Yep, I think that's about all we can do, so. This deck is very soft in the early turns to a lot of what the mono red deck has going on. So definitely the first goals are going to be get some earlier removal. Sure, we'll keep this hand. Got 2 Regal Caracals if we ever get that far. Put them all against a 6. Maybe it'll be nice and mulligan to 5 too. Nope. No such luck. Alright, I mean, if their creatures aren't Bomat Couriers, we've got pseudo answers to them. Karizev. Looking for mana here. Definitely don't want a Glimmer. And Rivulet's okay. It's not fantastic. Sure. Always gotta have the Bomat. So we're gonna get hit for 2 here. Really kind of need to find a white source. I'm beginning to wonder, yo ho ho. This deck honestly runs enough white sources. Like, the question is what's the priority in terms of, like, improving the deck? Is the priority improving the mana base, or is the priority improving the, like, early cards? Alright, so I have triple Regal Caracal, but no white mana, so I think we're dead. Sure. Yep, they always seem to have, like, the burn spells whenever we go for this plan. Okay, there's a white source. So right now we're taking some amount of damage here. Taking 2, 3, 4 next turn. Why wouldn't you attack with Karizev here? Opponent just missed 2 points of damage? Okay. Sure. Sure. Find untapped white source. Bottom that. Bottom that. Fumigate. Alright, I mean, maybe we survive if they don't have something like Glorybringer. Sure. Yep. Not even sure what they're trying to play around here. Just let Field of Ruin happen. opponent has 2 cards in hand. I'm at 9 life, and now I just get to start deploying cats on cats on cats. Hopefully your card is not Glorybringer. Okay, sure. There isn't a whole lot in our graveyard. I guess you could flash back like an opt here. Or Renewed Faith, sure. Let's play this opt anyway. Might be kind of greedy to bottom that, but start the cat parade. Sure. Supreme Will's not a bad hit here. Alright. Well, I mean, so not a long stream in terms of playing this deck. I wanted to get a quick match in or two. Felt really good to beat mono or red variants. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. That felt really, really good. I do think the mana's a little bit of an issue. I do think the obviously the lack of early interaction's an issue. Opponent got a little salty there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments over on the YouTube channel to see what do you think the first like small upgrades should be. Should it be Glacial Fortresses to kind of fix the mana a little bit? Should it be things like Baffling End to make the deck a little more fluid? Obviously things like Essence Scatter are a consideration. But I mean, if the deck can hang with mono red without Authority of the Consuls and multiple Settle the Wreckages in the main deck, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So, but let's count the. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. So 14 pseudo-ish white sources. Even with all this card draw, that is a little low compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-ish blue sources. Yeah, I think Glacial Fortress is definitely one of the priorities. So the way I'm going to work this is I'm going to spend up to $5 a week on the deck in real money and whatever the winnings are from the F&M event we go to. Let me go ahead and pull up some stuff. Go ahead and MTG Goldfish to see, yeah, some of these lists of blue-white. Let's see, approach of. Oh no, he has an article on here, doesn't he? About building up the deck here. See what his suggested upgrades were. Counter Surge, Core Lash, Second Sun Control. So, good old Saffron Olive. The first one we're going to build up towards is probably this Abandoned Sarcophagus build. Just as a kind of, good base, and then we'll probably try to build it up toward the Esper version. I'm kind of hoping to have it towards the Esper version by the by GP Pittsburgh here in a couple months, but realistically, so Glacial Fortresses are running like 333 apiece or so. What other cards? Is he running additional? He's just running cast outs as removal spells. Sarcophagus is a card. You may sell the Wreckage. Just running the counter spells. And then... Alright, so he's not really changing... Does he have any removal spells in the main deck? Nope, just like Renewed Faith and Pray, pretty much. I don't know how I feel about lack of removal in the deck, even with that many sweepers running around in the list. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other card decks that are running the Drakehaven builds. So, White Blue Cycling is probably the deck we're interested in. Like Nimble Instructionist, Curator of Mysteries, Sensor Countervailing Wind, Renewed Faith. I guess that's the... a couple Baffling Ends in the sideboard. And Jace's Defeat, negates Forsake the Worldly, Nimble Obstructionists. So a lot of these ones aren't really running... I think I like Curator of Mysteries definitely as a alternative win con. See what somebody else is running. Nimble Obstructionist, Sarcophagi. Yep, Torrential Gearhulks in this one. Eventually we want to work our way up to that, and then let's take a look at the actual blue-white approach that the non-sarcophagus builds. I know there's at least been one or two that's been doing well recently. Let's see, blue-white approach. Couple Torrential Gearhulks. Nope, they're not really playing any like one cast out, a couple Ixalan's Bindings. Just a couple Baffling Ends. This version's not running any copies of Renewed Faith. Definitely some different ways to go about building a deck as we add cards to it. But it definitely looks like the first key is adding the Glacial Fortresses. Just because the mana feels... The mana's got to be good. I mean, we've got to have the mana being good for the deck to function moving forward. Especially with Irrigated Farmlands and Glacial Fortresses, there's no reason not to run Glacial Fortresses. It's a mono-white approach deck. See, I've heard about mono-white approach from a couple different people, but I don't think I've ever actually taken a look at the list. So, Sell the Wreckage, Fumigate, Treasure Maps. Draw a card. Blessing. So what is the point? Isn't this just a basically a counterspell-less version of blue-white approach? Like you're running things like Treasure Map and Immortal Sun. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously the deck has results, so I'm not going to sit here and like poo-poo it or anything, but I don't know. We have a couple different things to work towards, and then obviously have the Esper approach list that we still have floating around, I think. This was the list that I think top or won the one Grand Prix earlier in the year. This was before the bannings. Like Fatal Pushes, and then access to Scarab God and Vraska's Contempt side of the sideboard. I kind of like this kind of a transformational sideboard where you have access to like all this stuff, plus you have the early interaction. I don't know. I'm kind of partial to having approach as your main deck win con and then everything else. So obviously this version's a lot more expensive, having access to like multiple Torrential Gearhulks, multiple Scarab Gods. So obviously Search for Azcanta is the money card too. But a lot of different directions to go with this particular style of deck, but we're definitely going towards the blue-white version first, and then build off of that as success allows. So, thanks for tuning in tonight, and thanks everyone for tuning in on YouTube later. So, it's going to be our project for the next, probably starting this FNM. Going to have to skip next week at Grand Prix Columbus, and then for the 11 or 12 weeks after that, hopefully we'll get that IQ invite, and it'll all be worth it. So, thanks for tuning in. This has been Dust from MTG Tavern here on Twitch, and Dust Till Dawn Gaming over on YouTube.